Hi everyone, welcome back to Slow Fashion Mom. If you're new here, I'm Rachel, and today I'm going to show you how to sew on a button that will never fall off. Now, I know that's a big claim, but ever since I learned how to sew on buttons this way back in school for costume design, none of my buttons have ever fallen off. I'm sure everyone can relate buying a shirt at a store and having the button fall off on the first wear, or just having the buttons kind of feeling like they're hanging on by a thread. Not a good feeling you want to have while wearing clothing. After today, you will be able to repair any button or just fix the buttons on your shirt. We're going to be hand sewing today. This is so easy, anyone can do it. You just need a needle and thread and some little scissors. And the secret to what makes these buttons stay on is called a shank. We will learn all about that now. Let's get started. You'll need a needle, thread, some scissors, and a thimble's great to have but not necessary. To start, we're going to thread the needle. I always use double thickness of thread when sewing on buttons, and then we're going to make a knot. You can either lick your finger, wrap the thread around, and pull it down. That's a quick and easy way to make a knot. Or you can do it in the fabric itself. So I'm just going to take a couple really small stitches that will create a loop. And then put the tip of my needle through that loop to create a knot. And we'll do that twice to create a secure double knot. Then I'm just going to trim the tail ends of thread and we are ready to get started. So I'm going to grab my button and put the needle through. And buttons are either sewn on with the stitches in an X pattern or 2 stitches going across. The rest of the buttons on my shirt are in an X, so I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to stitch diagonally across the button and stab through to the wrong side. And then I'm just stabbing my needle up through both the fabric and the button. I'm going to do the same thing to make an X. Now, as you're making these stitches, you don't want to pull the button super tight against the fabric. You want to give it a little bit of ease because we're going to be putting in a shank in at the end. So I'm just going to continue stabbing up through the fabric and the button and down. I like to do a minimum of 3 stitches on each side of the button. So 6 minimum, I usually do 4, so that's 8 holding the button on, and that creates a very secure button. Now that the button's on securely, we're going to make a shank, and what we'll do is bring the needle to the right side of the fabric between the button and the fabric. And to make the shank, we're just going to wrap the needle thread around the threads holding the button on, between the fabric and the button. I usually go around 6 times, and this makes a really secure and strong shank that is extremely durable. The last step is just to make a knot, and I do the same thing I did at the beginning. Just make a couple little stitches to make a loop, stick the needle through the loop to create a knot, and repeat that again so it's a strong double knot. Then I just take a little stitch to hide my thread tails, and I'm going to trim that close to where the needle came out. And that is it. You've got a really strong and secure button. And I use the same method for sewing any kind of button on any fabric. As you can see, this is my heavy wool winter coat with a huge button, and I'm just doing the exact same things here. I'm putting 3 to 4 stitches through each hole with double thread and then making a shank. So that's how to sew on a button that will never fall off. Please let me know in the comments down below if you learned something new or if you're going to try this on your own clothing. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!